Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this video is a fun tag created by Jerusha Couture, who seems to be on a roll with these tags this year. And this one, again, is giving all the old school luxury YouTube vibes. I was tagged by KK Love CC and the Beauty Luxe Lover. I'll link both of their videos in the description. And this tag is the most used, least used, never used, most critiqued, and most complimented. So some of these are super easy, don't even have to think about it, and I'm gonna have to give serious thought to the others. I'm going to try to stick to one bag for each category because some of these categories I can think of multiple bags that are fitting. Let's start with an easy one, which is most used, and this for sure is my very first Neverfull that I got 15 years ago. I'm glad I'm filming this tag now because within the next week or so I plan to take this bag to Louis Vuitton for repair because it is wrecked. And by the looks of it, you're probably not surprised that it is my most used bag. And not just of the moment, but in the history of my handbag collection. I use my Neverfulls for work and travel. Each bag gets used 3 to 4 months out of the year, every weekday, every single year for the past 15 years. And for the first couple of years that I owned it, it was my only work bag. So at least now it gets rotated with my other work bags. It is looking rough. I was riding the subway one day and noticed that one of my straps is quite literally hanging on by a thread and the other strap is coming undone at the base. So this bag is unusable until I get it fixed. There is a ton of corner wear, but I really use my bags and I decided a long time ago that I was going to use this bag until the wheels fall off, and unfortunately the wheels have fallen off, so it needs to go in for repair. I see other people's Neverfulls that they say that they've used a lot. They've had the bag for many years and the condition of their bags is so much better than my bag, but I think I've come to the conclusion that my definition of using a bag a lot is very different from other people's. Next up is least used, and this was hard for me, but I chose my Chanel GST. I've had my GST for 12 years and I always remember how old this bag is because I got it for myself as a push present, so it's always the same age as my daughter, and inadvertently she now has a birth year bag. She could care less, but I care. So I got this bag in 2013. It served as a casual weekend tote, or if I was going someplace fancier with a baby, I would also use it as a diaper bag. I used it at least once a month from 2013 to 2018. So even though it's my least used bag, it's been used more than 50 times, but I don't own any bags that I've used less than 50 times. And that's even including my most recent Hermes quota bag, which I just got last year. Even that bag has been used more than 50 times already. And that's just because I use my bags for any and everything. I don't own anything that I save for best. I use everything, any and everywhere. So this is my least used bag, but it's still been used a lot. And the only reason that I use it less now is because after using it consistently for 5 years, in 2019, I got a Birkin 30 in this exact same combination. So if I want a black bag with gold hardware in this size, I just prefer to use my Birkin. But I will still use this on occasion when I need that combination, but it's raining or I need a strap. So I still love this bag, even though it's not vintage. It's only 12 years old. It has a very vintage look to me. I don't know. You tell me what you think. GSTs are known to lose structure. Mine is in really good condition and the structure is really good because this is one of the few bags that I store fully stuffed in its box. But I fear that that's one of the reasons that I don't use it as much, and I always grab my Birkin because the extra steps needed to reach the top of my handbag wardrobe and unbox this usually isn't worth the effort for me when I have a perfectly good Birkin staring me right in the face, ready to use. Needless to say, since my least used bag was still used more than 50 times, I don't own a bag that I've never used. Next up is my most complimented bag. So initially I picked my Chanel Beige Clear Jumbo with gold hardware, but then I realized that is no longer true. It would have been true a few years ago, but there is a bag that has taken its place, and that is my Hermes Constance in Mauve Sylvestre in Epsom leather with rose gold hardware. People love this bag, and I love it too. The kinds of compliments that I get on this bag are very different than I get on my other bags. So when people compliment my Beige Clear Jumbo, they'll say, "I love your Chanel. That's such a great color." And a huge part of it is seeing a Chanel bag in that color in the wild. Since people are so used to seeing seeing black Chanel bags, especially in New York City. It's also very different than the compliments that I get about my other Hermes bags. So I get a lot of, oh my God, I love your Birkin. Some people, strangely enough, ask to touch it, but a lot of the compliments just seem to center on the fact that it is a Birkin as opposed to the bag itself. I do get complimented a lot on my Kelly bags. There are many people that don't know that it's an Hermes bag, but they seem to recognize that it's a very well-made bag. Or there are some people that recognize it's an Hermes bag, but aren't quite sure what it is. So they'll say, I love your Birkin, and I have to explain that it's a Kelly. But nothing compares to the compliments that I get on this Constance. And despite the rose gold H in the front of the bag, no one seems to know that it's an Hermes bag. So I hear a lot, that color is so beautiful. Where is that bag from? And I've said it before, but for people in the know about Hermes, it seems like the Constance should be the most obvious Hermes bag for the general public. But as someone that owns all three, in my experience, it's not. The Birkin is by far the most obviously Hermes bag to the layperson's eye. As far as I know, there aren't any rappers talking about their Constances. The Real Housewives and the Kardashians, although I'm sure they own tons of Constances, those aren't the ones that they choose to rock on their shows. Despite the obvious logo to us, it's not so obvious to people that aren't fans of the brand. And unless I'm around a person that knows about Hermes and knows the Constance bag, I only ever get complimented on the beauty, the seeming craftsmanship, the color, the leather, and I'm questioned about who makes this bag. And the last category is my most critiqued bag. And this category took a bit of thought because I can go in one of two directions here. I thought about going with one of my Hermes bags because I've gotten a lot of grief from people that shop at my boutique who feel pretty strongly that I should not have gotten the offers that I've gotten. I don't spend any money. My essay should be fired, the whole 9 yards. But the more I thought about it, that wasn't about the bags per se. It was more about whether or not I deserve to have these bags, which is ridiculous because we're talking about handbags. Anyone can have anything. And then I thought about the last year with the Walmart Birkin and now the made in China stuff. If you have social media and you talk about Hermes, I'm sure you too have gotten the made in China comments. But that was almost like spam. Those comments didn't even register with me. They were so silly. So I can't even seriously consider that critique. So how I decided to pick a bag for this category is that I chose the bag that I got critiqued for the most in real life. And that bag happens to be my favorite bag in my entire collection. And that is my Chanel classic flap in the medium size in lambskin leather with gold hardware. And everyone in my real life discouraged me from buying this bag. I bought this bag at the very end of 2011 and I had gotten two other classic flaps earlier in the year. Everyone that I told that I was going to buy this bag said it was ridiculous. I would regret it. It looks exactly like the two other classic flaps that I bought, the Jumbo and the Maxi. You handbag connoisseurs, I'm sure understand me that this bag is a completely different bag from those two, but I can see from a layman's perspective, they just did not get why I would want a third classic flap. They try to convince me that it was too small because at the time the Jumbo was by far the most popular. It was useless. I would regret it. And because I had bought other Chanel bags that year, I had a huge Saks rewards card that I had planned to put towards this medium classic flap. So it only costs about $2,800. And I distinctly remember my mom saying, why would you spend $2,800 on that bag that looks exactly like your other bags? My tennis partner straight up laughed at me. Safe to say, I got critiqued a lot for buying this bag. And although I love all of these people, I am so happy that I didn't listen to any of them because I would have missed out on what has become my favorite bag in my entire collection. Not to mention the fact that I paid $2,800 for a medium classic flap, brand new from the boutique, is unheard of today. So sometimes you just have to follow your gut and buy the bag. So that's it for this tag. Thank you to Kim² for tagging me. This was a fun one. I don't think I have anyone to tag since the Beauty Lux Lover tagged everyone, their mamas, their pets, but I will do my best to find someone who wasn't tagged and tag them in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That would make my day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.